The World Peace Dome at Loni was the venue for the 4th National Conference on Media and Journalism on Peace, Dialogue and Inclusivity, organized by MIT World Peace University through the School of Media and Communication. This unique and exciting conference also witnessed a session on documenting the past, the present and the future, chaired by Dr Mukesh Sharma, the CEO of Vishwashanti Darshan and the former Additional Director General of Doordarshan. The participants of the session included K.S. Shridhar, Director Films Division Mumbai, Miriam Chandy Menacherry, the founder of Filament Pictures, documentary filmmaker Farah Katun and Shilpi Gulati, the Assistant Professor, TISS Mumbai.
Morning before we start today's session, I think all the participants, all the directors, documentary filmmakers who are sitting with me, they need a round of applause for such a good CV, what we heard about them. Okay. Also, it's morning time. I'm sure you guys are also alert. Try and take maximum out of the discussion. Make your notes, whatever you can, right? You can always laugh and enjoy afterwards also. But before again I start, I would like to thank Dr. Vishwanath Karat sir for such a beautiful dome, such a place where we are all sitting here, the World Peace Dome, and having our this conference, 4th National Conference. And for me, documentaries are never made. You live a documentary. When you live a documentary, that means you need to observe, you need to ascertain, you need to enlighten, you need to know what is happening around if a particular subject you pick up. Now today's subject, what we have here is primarily how the documentary filmmakers can help us in building world peace. About inclusiveness, about dialogues, of course for the peace. I have been making films, documentaries and of course feature films. But I find today one good trend which is coming out from a non-fiction and a fiction is the birth of biopics. Now if you see, the biopics are typically a documentary, yet it's not a documentary. Because you have the freedom to do the drama the way you like, to change the narrative the way you like. Yet you can live the character, you can make it live. And that is why today the biopics are becoming a hit. So it's a combination of the two. Coming back to our own subject of documentaries, the only I would say government organization which have been helping us with the documentaries has been Films Division. Now Films Division came up in 1948, just after the independence. And their primarily job was to ensure that whatever the good work or whatever work the government is doing, they must do a tom-tom of it. The good thing that has happened over the years is Films Division has a vast variety of such documentaries in the library. Anytime you should visit Films Division in Mumbai if you are very keen to be a filmmaker. And they have all the types of documentary. That will also help you to the way you want to make your own work, you want to start your own production, you want to make your own documentary. Films Division, the Film Museum. And Film Museum is a lot of money, nearly about 100 crore plus have been spent on that museum. And since most of you are coming from all over the country, you may not know about it. If you get a chance, do visit that also. That will also help you in your learning. Today's topic, as I said, what role exactly a documentary filmmaker can play in ensuring that the world peace or the peace among the society, peace among us can be done. So I would first ask my friend and who has been my former colleague also. In fact, 2 of my former colleagues are with me right now. Shridhar is here. Just tell us, what films have you made on peace and harmony since you joined, or Films Division for that matter, and how it has helped us during these years?
Films are not made for that particular topic. So you tell stories. You tell stories about people. You tell stories about. See, India is a very diverse country, and I don't think there's any other country that is as diverse as India. So what happens is that people don't get to know stories about people. If I am in the western part of India, I don't know what's happening in the northern part. I don't know what's happening in the northeastern. So when you tell stories about different people and their lives, and so many different cultures, so many different religions, when people get to know each other, that is when I think peace, it automatically comes. When there are individual stories of each and every one. So it's the films that we make are not directly related to peace, but it is indirectly working on the same subject. When you know that the other person is also similar to me, that is when you accept them. That is when you treat them equally. And maybe even the other person is also going through the same struggles that I am going through. And that is how documentaries help in peace and harmony. So that is what I can say. But
How much is the new media destroying peace?
well, this is something to deliberate. I don't think it's destroying peace. See, the new media is helping to bring out more stories. Earlier, when you had filmmaking as an option, if you want to think of filmmaking, you had to shell out a lot of money. Celluloid was the only option. And to think of making a film, you first have to think of how to produce it, how to fund it. And documentary films especially, it's very hard to fund a documentary film. So the mediums now is after film, you got video technology, and then the digital, and now even on the mobile you can shoot a film. The main thing is now what story you want to tell. It's not the medium. You can shoot a film on a mobile and you can still show it to the world. So that has helped. So I think because of this technology, more and more stories are coming up. So people are able to know other people much better. So I don't think it's destroying peace. I think it's helping in it.
Let me just quickly go to Shilpi. I'll be just doing round like this. Shilpi, is the society more fragmented today or was it yesterday?
I feel like from time to time, every epoch feels like it's standing at the edge of an abyss. You know, every epoch feels like what is happening today is worse than what it was in the back old days. And perhaps, when we were talking about, when these kind of conversations were happening a few years back, I'm sure people of previous generations were saying the same thing. Coming back to your point, the idea of new media, we as scholars talk about what is so new about new media. From celluloid, there was a moment where we shifted from celluloid to video. That was new media at that time. A few years later, we went into digitization, and that's what we are all grappling with regard to our archives, what we produce, how we exhibit, etc. And we obviously now have what I call the beast of the internet in front of us. It has immense possibilities. I don't know if we are fragmenting today more than we were before, but I know that the possibilities of us uniting is so much more today because we are connected in so many other ways, virtually, digitally, online, through this new media that we have, which I think we can activate to our advantage.
So, as she said, there is no fragmentation, there is so much of media happening. So what do you think, accuracy over immediacy or immediacy over accuracy? What is important? Because things are now, earlier what was happening, there was one channel. There was one channel, so it was a morning news, evening news, and there was peace. Now the whole day there is the drums are going on and something is happening. So, because everyone wants to be immediate. How many people want to be accurate, I do not know. So that's why I say what is important in news today in media, accuracy over immediacy or immediacy over accuracy?
If we talk about news, we are so bombarded with so many information. Some are good, some are bad, and some are very ugly as well, which plays a definite role in fragmenting the society. But I think there are a huge possibility, especially because of new media. There are immense number of pages, YouTube channels where you see news of different kind. They are trying to give us a information that will that will be inaccurate, or trying to just to get more TRP, just to be on the limelight. They are trying to give us some wrong information without even checking. So I think that possibility is definitely there, but what we want to take is definitely within us, and accordingly we channelize what we want to see and what we don't want to see. So it's like that, people don't bother nowadays. Many people don't bother about accuracy, yet there are a lot who bothers. And like Shilpi said, that's, because of new media, we all are so connected and we can choose what we want to see and what we don't. So.
Okay. So I'll come to you. If you are asked to produce a film on world peace, who all would you like to include in your narrative?
I'm going to respond directly to your question, but the other questions were very provocative as well, and I have to have a chance to respond to that. So I come from the lived experience of having been in news and being very disillusioned where news has gone to these days. I tend to think that it's actually fragmented. We live in a sort of post-truth world with a lot of fake news that is passed around, and that is actually informing our reality. And being documentary filmmakers, I think we have a responsibility to say that if it's a sort of a fast food culture where everyone's trying to grab headlines and put it out, and people are consuming that. And documentary, on the other hand, I see it as slow incubated projects over a long timeline, which give people the chance to interact with nuance. And I think that is what is missing in the way we are informed. You know, we are kind of taking away the headlines. So to come to the question that you asked me, my commitment is to tell stories slowly, the less known stories in a way that engages with people. I mean, I feel like, you know, right from that first image that the Lumiere brothers brought of a train coming to a station, was that a document? What is that? You know, was it a documentary? Was it just a shot? And the reaction that it had with the audience who saw the first moving images. They were frightened, they were scared, they got up and shrieked and they ran away. That is the power of documentary, even today, that people connect with that moment, with that image, and it's the sort of longer story that you're trying to tell factually. So yeah, the commitment is to tell those lesser known stories that are not in the headlines, that are not just the things grabbing eyeballs and running for TRPs, but to create this bigger narrative of peace, which is pretty much what Shridhar said about inclusivity, about building those bridges of understanding, which appeal to both mind and heart.
The problem is with the information so much happening around and so much of things are present there that they know so many things more than us. So it's difficult to tell them don't do this or don't do that. And today is a time where it is free for all. So anything which regulates, sir, neither they will accept it nor, you know, nor I should ask them to do so.